Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer, Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. We're going to do update 43 today. And I think it's going to be kind of shocking to you guys. Maybe some of you not so much. But let's take a look at what's whirling around in my head and what I've been up to. Okay, gang. I have all the holes drilled. I have all the wires down through, so now you can see the buildings all sitting flat where they're supposed to be, including that one over there. I'm going to put a grate right here for coal cars to come and fill up the tower. I've got one somewhere, but I don't know where right now. But I'll cut the ties out and put a grate in there. And that should take care, and then I'll have another place to drop off a coal car or a hopper car or two to fill up the coaling tower. I don't know. It looks good so far. I don't have any of the lighting hooked up yet, but I'll get there. Okay, gang. I came out tonight. Tonight is Friday. And I got all energetic and put in some just plug stuff underneath the layout, and I was able to plug in the lights that I had hanging down. I don't have any street lights or anything out here, but I will have. And here's the auction house. And I'll have maybe one or two light poles out here by the cattle pens. But the light poles remain to be seen yet, sound like a Daffy Duck or somebody. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys what the lighting over here looks like so far, and I like it a lot. And of course, my shop light is shining through the hole over here, and I have a bunch of wire hanging down here, but it's worth the effort. I think the lights look really good. And there you have it. Okay, gang. You've already seen all that, but you haven't seen this. That's how it's going to look, and that's how big it's going to be. And it's going to go up higher, of course. It's sitting on the rolling cabinets right now, but I think you get the idea. Let me just walk around here, and I've got junk all over the place, and I still have plenty of room to walk, plenty of room to look. And there it is. Of course, it's just a giant piece of pink foam, but I'm sure you get it. Really not a giant piece. It's only about 3 feet wide. But let me stand back here in this corner. You can see how much room I have still. I don't think it's a detriment. I'm liking it. I cut it off square, and then I put it up on these without a spacer underneath there, and drew the line around the fascia there, so that when I get this pulled back and I get something to hold it up there and get that picture over there moved, it'll just slide right up against the fascia once the fascia's back in place. So this is where I'm at right now. Okay, everybody. My buddy Mike Canizero came over the other night, and we were looking at this, and actually I had been thinking about it too, but I think it stuck out too far over here. So if you look, I don't know, it's hard to compare, but I cut about 5 inches off of this and just rounded that corner back a little bit. I think it's a little cleaner that way. I don't know, I'm having all kinds of second thoughts here, or different thoughts, and one of them is I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, I'm trying to lift this thing. what if I put it up here and just extended the layout out a little bit? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I'm gonna have to think about that. But the foam is cut, and I'll decide. In any event, I've got to take all those tiles off of there, and I did bring my heat gun out, and I'm going to attempt to do that right now. They've been on and off a dozen layouts probably, but anyways, I'm going to go after it again. Well, I almost successfully got all the tiles off, with the exception of over here. This one I pried off. It fell on the floor, and unfortunately, like a dummy, that tile was laying right under it. It landed on that tile and broke it. But that's the way it goes, I guess. But anyway, now the game plan is to, well, I don't know what the game plan is, but I think it's to take this fascia loose and pull it out a little ways and see what I have. But we'll get after something. I don't know if you guys like this idea better, but I'm thinking I do. I could extend these yard tracks out and take them, curve them over this way, come off the layout like right about here, so that yard would be curved. I'd have room to put some things on the outside of it over there, and then I'd have room for more switching stuff in here if I took a turnout off of the right hand lead there. I'm liking this a little better than the lower level. I think the lower level, putting it lower, would look a little hokey. And this way here, I could take this mountain and kind of just bring it back and start lowering it down here and over to the edge of the layout. Then I could do housing and stuff up on there, non-businesses up on there, and then a couple of 2 or 3 industries out here. I don't know. I kind of like it that way better. I guess in the end, it doesn't matter what you guys think. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But anyways, I do appreciate it when you do comment, because I've gotten some good suggestions off of there. But I kind of like this better. Okay, everybody. I know I took a picture of this kind of like this, but this is kind of level as I can get it, sitting on all my junk under here. But I have a few ideas here, and I discussed it with Robin. She liked the idea. My buddy Mike liked the idea. Of course, I haven't talked to him about lifting it up, but here's what I'm envisioning here. Over there, hang on, let me get something to point with besides my big fat hand. I'll be right back. Okay, I got a pointer, but I thought I had a pointer, but I guess when I took the video, I only took a photo. So we're going to have to do this over. But anyway, over there, I'm going to curve those tracks. I think I've already spoken about it, but I'm going to curve those tracks across here and probably off over in here somewhere. Or maybe, not exactly sure. Because I'm talking about also making a river across here, a little river, underneath the yard, or the yard tracks, over to here, and then make a pond over here, a pretty good sized pond just on the right of the 3 tracks. And I'm thinking about making a flume from over there down and into the pond for logs. Now that means, and I've already discussed it, taking this hill around here and lowering it down this way over to here somewhere, and then doing houses and stuff on there. But anyways, that's kind of the plan. I can come off of the inside track over there and put a turnout into here and put maybe a couple, 2 or 3 industries in here and some town, a little bit of town stuff. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll figure out something to put in there. So that's the game plan for now. I can't think of what else I forgot. I did the same thing on another clip in the video, and now I'm out here and I can't remember what the heck it was. Doesn't that just drive you crazy? It drives me crazy. Anyway, maybe I'll think of it. I remembered what it was. If I take and put an L girder underneath that L girder and screw it to that L girder and drop it down just what I need to get 3.5 inches almost up to the foam, then I can make a box out of that, screw it in here, and then put a leg out here and put a leg out there, probably over against the, maybe not even against the wall. I could screw it to the wall over there, but probably one leg out here, and then I can move the car cards and the bookcase out to, say, here, so that the doors are right here, and get it. That would get the bookcase away from the bench and still give me room to switch up to the edge of the bench if I just did scenery over there. So I hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. But the next step is to get some lumber and just start doing something. And then, of course, that means that this fascia here will have to get cut off, and I'll have to double up a board over there and butt 2 pieces over there and bring me a piece all the way around here if I can accomplish that. So we'll see how that goes. I could put a piece, I could put a stringer out here, bring this piece around and tie it in, and then just use a short piece over to there. I don't know how that's going to work, but I certainly will figure it out. Thanks, guys. Okay, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you kind of like the ideas. I like the ideas. And now we'll have a mixture of a plywood top and a piece of foam, and that foam will make it easier for me to, like as I had said, cut the water feature down into the foam. I think it's going to work out good. I hope it works out good, but we'll see. And as usual, whoops, where are you? You're over there. Thanks for watching.